I'm here with the great Mats of Brothers of Metal to talk about Fimbulvinter. Did I pronounce it right?
Superbly, I would say.
Oh, wow. I thought you were going to criticize my pronunciation, but okay, I'll take it. Out November 1st on AFM Records. First of all, thank you very much for taking the time. It's always a pleasure to see you. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. How you been?
Yeah, I've been great. We since we last spoke, we defeated a pandemic, started touring again, wrote an album. I mean, it's been going great. How about you?
Uh, you know, uh, Probably not as good as you. I mean, now the way you presented that, I'm gonna have a hard time beating that. But I'm here. I'm still alive and kicking, and just like you two. And we're here to talk about New Brothers of Metal record, which I must say I was not expecting this record from you guys. There was a lot of things that I was not expecting about this record that surprised me.
Interesting.
On a positive note, obviously, but it begs the question: what was the mindset of the band going into this record?
Yeah, I think it was a very long writing process. So I think a lot of different mindsets during the whole writing process. When we began writing it, obviously that was during the pandemic, so that was unhappy times, one might say, and also we we had one band member quit during that time as well due to tinnitus issues that went overboard. And yeah, so it was a bit rough in the beginning, and we also were a bit unlucky with the like studio process was it dragged out, like it was so long and tedious, but we fought through it and we're really happy with the outcome. And it feels great to like it feels also for me personally at least like to finally be able to release this album feels like we can mark an end to the shitty pandemic chapter for like in some sense at least.
It's a turning of a page, if
Yeah,
you will.
yeah,
You're
for
you're
sure.
turning you're turning a page. One of the things, one amongst many, that surprised me when I was listening to this record is that this album, more than any other record you guys you guys have ever done, has a very diverse sound palette. I mean, you guys pretty much somebody, I'm sure you guys were together and they're like, okay, what kind of sound do we want for this record? And then somebody
Yeah,
said, yes.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
how
I
it
know.
feels.
Yeah, I mean, if you take like I think the span would be perhaps like if we take if sound would be an image, like in one corner we would have heavy metal Viking, in the other corner we would have Berserker perhaps, and in the top somewhere like other side of the canvas would be like Rivers of Gold. Like it's very different songs, and the sound is very different for sure. um yeah, I think we it's for several reasons. I think we developed as songwriters, so we tried our wings, so to say, a bit, but we still wanted to keep like the core of what we are, fun, and try to like keep the Norse mythology. And yeah, and I think in most cases we managed to do so without striding too far off what we are, so to say.
When you look at the diversity of sound, which I thought, I mean, if it proves one thing, you guys can write any kind of song. Honestly, I
Yeah,
mean, from heavy metal to power metal to rock to like whatever. Like you guys on this record kind of took your stabs at all different genres and achieved them all greatly on these tracks. But when the time came for you guys to put these songs in the context of an album, was it difficult to find some sort of a red line that would allow the listener to feel connected with the album from beginning to end?
Yeah, for sure. We took as the record label, can we please have the track list? Can we please have the track list? 2 weeks later, how any update on the track list? Yeah, we're working on it. Shut up. Like, yeah. So yeah, we had troubles for sure because I don't know. We put in a lot of work into the actual track list actually, but I'm not sure it's maybe it's not worth it. I mean, most people will listen to separate songs online, but I guess we do it for our own sake and for the true metal fans out there listening from first song to last song. But we want to create somewhat of a dynamic, um, yeah, over the record. And also, like for example, we wanted to the first song we wanted to put a song that we really believed in that didn't become a single, for example, like the first song you would hear. uh, we want we wanted to give Sovelo that shot to like be heard as well, because most people will probably click the album and hear the first song, and we wanted that to be a great song, so to say.
Do you look, because of this diversity and because of that difficulty in putting a track listing together, do you feel that maybe Ylva's vocals become the red line that connects this whole album together?
Yeah, I mean, one could argue that for sure. Yeah, yeah, among other things, I would say. But of course, she's instrumental in our sound. But I think even more so, maybe the contrast between Ylva and Jocke and me, mainly those two. I think that's maybe the most significant fingerprint of our music, so to say, our most yeah, the call sign of Brothers in Metal is that contrast, I would say. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, she shines a lot on this album for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, because the contrast exists on this record as has always existed on every
Yeah.
album from you guys. But her predominance on this album to me feels a lot more clear than in the previous records.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe in some songs. I haven't really thought about it in that way. I get what you mean. Um, yeah, yeah, maybe you're right. Haven't thought of it, but she was very involved and driving in the songwriting process as well. So it would make sense.
When you look at the way the album turned out with this diversity, do you feel like now this is going to open doors for you guys going forward in terms of what kind of records Brothers of Metal could do?
No, yeah, I actually been thinking about that. Like in my mind, we always did different types of. We took different genres of metal and made, uh, like for example, uh, first record we have Sleipner. That's maybe the most power metal we ever were, or until now, I would say maybe. Yeah. So we weren't from the get-go, we weren't like a clear-cut power metal band if you compare us to like Rhapsody, Halloween, Twilight Force, like, but we wanted to try that and we took that. So what makes power metal power metal? Oh, it's the synthesizer sounds, it's the double kick drum, it's the falsettos, whatever. And we put that into a song, and yeah, okay, this is power metal, but it's also brothers of metal. uh, and we try to do that with, like, for example, on this album we have Rivers of Gold, which is like a weird kind of folky party ballad in some weird way. And I think we managed to make that sound both like a folky party ballad and brothers of metal at the same time. So in my mind, we've always been able to take any style and make it our own.
When you look back at the record and at the time in which you guys created this record, um, is the record a complete result of that time period? Meaning that this record would have never sounded the way it does, would have never came across the way it does, had you guys went into the studio today?
Uh, that's a really tough question. Wow. Yeah, I think most of it would sound as it does. Maybe some of the songs would turn out a bit different, for sure. But we like during one summer, I think it was maybe 2021. We had like a couple of months where we had a computer in a barn where Ylva's parents live, and like so we went there all the time, just drinking beer and writing music, more or less. And we started to write so many songs. I think like maybe 30, 40 songs, something like that, like ideas for a song, like intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus. And the songs we really enjoyed and liked, we finished and put on the album, more or less. So we have so many more songs left that um, we thought at the time at least didn't make the cut. So we'll probably go back to that catalog and see if maybe a couple of songs at least deserve to meet fresh air.
Wow, you guys have a lot in the safe, not just what you guys released. Because this was not a short record. This is a long it's a long album. So beyond that, you still have more.
Yeah, but not finished like high
Just the
end
skeletons.
recording, but yeah, skeletons and like demo recordings. Yeah, it was so fun because our record label asked like, so how now it becomes a double LP. Would you want to maybe take 3 or 4 songs and put them on an EP instead? And we were like, hell no, we put this on the record, and if not, we make 2 records and we're out of the deal instead. So you decide, do you want 1 album or do you want 2 albums? So they decided to go with 1 album. So no, but I think I hate it when I buy a new album unless it's with like Meshuggah or Tool, and it's like 7 songs on the album, like or like it just reaches like 33 minutes or 35 minutes or whatever the limit for a full record is. Yeah, we want to be over the top there as well, I guess.
So this is an important aspect because I'm on the opposite side of you here.
Okay,
For me, a record needs to be just around the 40-minute mark. Uh,
okay.
because I find that in modern times for a record listener, I listen to the record on my way to work and then on my way home. And my distance from home to work is around the 40-minute mark. So
Yeah, you
anything
should.
that goes above that, I start to not lose interest, but it's hard for me to have the full
Yeah,
experience because by the time I get there, I'm missing 3 songs. And then by the
yeah,
time I drive back home, I'm not going to listen to those 3. I'm going to start again all over from the beginning.
yeah. Okay.
So you
Yeah,
have a different view on that.
yeah. We should have had that in mind when we when we wrote the record. Too bad you didn't tell us before. That would have changed it. No, but yeah. For me, I honestly, I can see where you come from. I'm the same way with like podcasts and so on. When it goes to over 1 hour, I like, please don't. So yeah, yeah, it's just a different way of viewing it, I think. But also we wanted to really release this because the releasing process for this was tedious. Like when was it? 2022, early 2022, we started to release singles. We released Other Son of Odin and Berserker. Um, and we were supposed to release the album 2022 already, but we had so many issues with the studio process at that time, so we couldn't. And then we wanted to release it 2023, and yeah, AFM went through some major changes in their. I won't go into it too much, but they went through some big changes, and yeah, here we are, 2024 November. We released it, so we've been waiting so long. So when someone like in May says, do you want to maybe postpone it and make it like this? No, like hell no, no, we get rid of this. I'm done with it. Can we go on tour and do next album?
Yeah, I'm sure you
Yeah,
guys are already bored of it. I mean, I'm not bored of it, but you want to just get people to listen to it because you've been sitting
yeah,
on it for so long.
yeah.
And speaking of touring, having this album with this kind of song dynamics in it, how much of an impact is this record going to have on your next set list when you guys go out on the road?
I think we've been rehearsing a bit. Like so, when we write music, I don't know how other bands do it, but we don't have like a rehearsal studio where we write music. We write it like in front of a computer with a couple of instruments and like a notebook. So when we go into studio, everyone more or less knows their parts, and we record it, and then 2 years later we get to tour with it and play it, and people can't play it like, how the fuck did I do this? And so we've been rehearsing it quite a lot lately, and I think we will play 7 or 8 songs we never played before on this upcoming tour. Not only from this album, but also some songs from Embla Saga we didn't get to play live yet. So will be very fun for us at least.
Well, when are you guys going out on the road?
1st of November, the same day as the
As the
album
album
is
comes out.
released. Yeah,
Wow. All right.
yeah. So we're not. So we will. When is this released, by the way?
Oh, it'll be before November 1st.
Yeah, yeah. So we will definitely play all the singles we released and a few more. And yeah, really looking forward to it.
Who are you going on the road with, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, no, of course. So it's our first real headline tour, and we're bringing Grail Knights as a support band, supporting act.
Are you playing all across Europe?
Yeah, more obviously not all over Europe, but for 3.5 weeks, from
That's
like
still a nice size tour.
yeah, from like east, like Poland, Hungary to London, more or less. So we miss some of the southern and northern countries, but we'll try to sort that later.
So how much of you uh likes to create new Brothers of Metal music because of a creative portion of who you are, and how much of that part of you just wants to go on the road and therefore I have to make new songs?
Yeah, live for I think most of us live for doing the live stuff. That's where it happens. That's like the magic when you like have a great audience, as we're so spoiled with great audiences that really interact with us and sing along and scream along and chant along. So that gets you. That's better than any drug in the world. That's so yeah. That's my motivation for sure. Yeah.
In this post-pandemic world where everybody's like so sensitive, has anybody approached you guys about changing the name of the band to Brothers and Sister of Metal?
No, no. But funnily enough, I get that question so many times. Like, how can you call yourself Brothers of Metal when you have a girl in the band? Yeah, have you asked that question to Iron Maiden or Judas Priest? Like, there's no priest in Judas Priest. How can you be called? Do you have everyone? Like it's like every metal reporter has like slight Asperger's. Like, no, it the name should be a description of the band. Like,
Now you sound like a German journalist.
yeah, yeah, that's for a reason. Nine, you can't be called Brothers of Metal. You have a lady in the band. Yeah,
Oh my
so
God.
yeah, we got that question so many times. Like from the get-go, I tried to be nice, and it's like, yeah, it's just a name, it's fun, and it's an homage to Manowar and so on. And yeah, now it just got like, what? Why can you do? Can you please read up on the band? Like read one interview and you have the answer, please.
Or
Like,
at least listen to a couple of songs or watch a couple
yeah,
of music videos.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're not asking you to do a lot of homework, just a
No,
little bit, just a little bit.
yeah,
You guys are already confirmed, by the way, to Wacken 2025.
yeah,
A return to Wacken for you guys. For a lot of bands, playing at Wacken is like the pinnacle of their existence. You guys get to do it more than once now.
yeah,
How was it for you the first time, and how is it for you now returning?
yeah. So, um, first time was like so magical in so many ways because it's like for me personally, it's been like a dream for so many years. Like, seen so many live clips from Wacken, and yeah, it's like holy metal ground in Europe at least. So it felt amazing for sure. And I mean the stage was great, the audience was great. Maybe a bit early on the day, but on the other hand, it didn't really matter because we still had tons of people there, and yeah, we had a great time. Um, Now returning, I think, yeah, it's gonna be better. I think even because I know what stage we're playing. I know some what close to the time we're playing at least, and that's going to be better for sure. And yeah, also we now, as you said, with the more perhaps diverse um, set list, it feels like we can put on a pretty cool show.
Well, or are you gonna take some time to better digest and appreciate the experience this time around? Because the first time, I'm sure you were so excited that you probably like everything just kind of flashes through your eyes.
Yeah, but I think it is. I talked a lot about this with a good friend of mine. Like, it's so hard to be in the moment and like suck in the experience. So to say, like to really experience it when it happens. Like, if I think if I do that too much, I can only speak for myself. I will. Probably get overwhelmed, like on stage. Like I can't do it too much because it's like it's such an unnatural thing standing on a stage having like 30,000 people watching you. Like that's not a natural thing that a human should do. That probably like you're programmed to uh, like talk to one person at a time and like have two eyes look look at you, not like 60,000 eyes. That's yeah. So I think it would be overwhelming if I took it in too much. But like after some of those big shows that would like bucket list shows. Like I can even start to cry because it's like it feels so unreal to be maybe not at the same level, but to share stages with like your idols that you grew up listening to. Like I'm here, like to even. I think it's it feels like winning. That's the closest thing I can describe it as. Yeah.
Well, I hope you have a great time next summer at Wacken. I hope you guys have a great time during this headlining tour in Europe. Mats, thank you very much for your time today. The album comes out November 1st on AFM Records. Fimbulvinter, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm calling it. I hope
It's
I'm doing it
correct.
right. I had a blast listening to it. So
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I was going to say I think, but I don't think. I know there's a difference between thinking and knowing. I know that this is the best record you guys have ever released. So congratulations on that. I know it came from a dark time, but sometimes from darkness there is some light, and this album does offer quite a bit of light. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for the kind words. And you should, if you haven't started it yet, you should start like a some kind of Patreon goal thingy to have you guys go to Wacken, shouldn't you?
I'm actually going to Wacken not next summer, unfortunately, but I am going
Ah,
in
okay.
2026 because I'm reaching a milestone in my age. I won't say what that milestone is because I don't want to date myself, but I'm reaching a milestone in my age, and to celebrate said milestone, I'm going with a group of friends. I don't know if my son will come along or not because he's
Yeah,
not celebrating that milestone.
no,
I am, and I kind of want to just like
yeah,
have like a moment for myself kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
sometimes people here go to Vegas. I figure I'm going to Wacken. So
yeah,
that's be kind of my Vegas. And I want to have
yeah.
freedom.
I hope you're lucky with the weather. When the weather is bad at Wacken, it it's yeah, it's like 1 foot of dirt. Like, yeah, it's yeah.
I'm going to be
Bring
prepared. I'm going with friends that have been there before through
yeah,
some bad weather, so I'm coming prepared with some galoshes and whatever.
yeah,
I'm taking some what I like to call it disposable clothing because I'm
yeah,
planning on bringing it with me, but not bringing it back.
yeah,
So
yeah. So
it
that's the way you are supposed to do it, I think.
yeah, it's like
Yeah,
that old expression of what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens at Wacken stays in Wacken, and
yeah,
that includes my clothing.
yeah, yeah. I would agree. Yeah, that's if I go to a festival and I don't have a, hotel room, which we usually have when we play, um, it's for sure the way to go. Like I bring stuff there and I come home with new stuff, more or less.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I think that's the way to go. Mats, thank you very much for your time today. All the best. See you around.
Yeah. Take care.
See you, man.